Hey, what's up, everyone? Good, good morning and good afternoon for the people in the East Coast. Good morning to people in the West Coast. This is Reckless Reviews with M3 and the Sophisticated Jerk. How's everybody doing? And Sophisticated Jerk, how you doing, brother?
Oh man, I'm doing great, man. I'm ready to go in. I saw the banner, man. You picked a good topic, man. We definitely gonna have some fun on this one, man. But I see you got that festive hat on, man. What's going on with you, man? You the Grinch now? The humbug on?
Hey, man. Christmas is all about consumership. So I'm just only here, man, to lay it down and destroy it, and maybe spoil it for the children as well too. So if you guys got some kids that's watching right now, y'all might want to cover their ears, man, because there's no such thing as Santa Claus.
Straight up, yeah. Grow up. No, I'm joking.
Right. But yeah, man. Today, man, we're gonna be talking about how Adam 22 rage quit against a guy named Saint and the Sinner, and that was on a podcast that's called the Whatever Podcast. So we're gonna definitely dive into it. But before we begin, just want to give everybody their proper shout outs, man. Definitely salutes to everybody that's tuning into the building. Salutes to Wallyverse, man. Thank you for tuning in. And we got 6 people that's watching us right now. Also, we got people who's going to probably be watching us soon, on IG as well. So definitely subscribe to Knowledge and Relationships, Man of Sophistication, and all the other channels to give you support. All right. So without further ado, man, let me go ahead and we're going to get the video started. So shout outs, man, to credit goes to MTR mediocre tutorials and reviews. Great streamer, by the way, and content creator. He's always doing really good reactions and dissecting things. But let's go ahead and we're gonna play the video. And also salutes to the intellectual soapbox as well that's in the building. So salutes to the brother. All right, let's go ahead and play it.
Woo, guys, I got a doozy of a conversation for you here today, but one that I think that is exceptionally appropriate. To the man who enjoys renting out his wife for the world to see, recently had a rage quit situation renting out his podcast for the world to see.
Sorry, hold on for 1 second. For some reason, I'm getting a double echo. Hold on for 1 second.
Is YouTube up in the background or?
Yeah, okay. There we go.
That's probably what it is.
Got that fixed. Yeah. So I always forget that anytime when I mute on my end, right, on my laptop, I can't really hear it. So I had to turn the volume down on my end. But hopefully that doesn't cause a triple echo. Don't worry, Wally, I fixed that problem. So let's see if this is gonna go well. Let me know if you still hear an echo, Sophisticated Jerk.
All right.
At the hands of another creator who goes by the name of Saint and the Sinner. Now,
it's a little better now.
Right now,
in
real time, is a clash of ideologies. In one corner, a man who would never
still giving off a little echo.
Wife for profit.
Okay, you know what? Let me try to fix it real quick because I know that always usually be a problem. So
on this podcast, the host Brian starts off with intro.
If I just mute this part, I guess from the StreamYard. And then I turn this one up on my end. I think the sound should be good. So let me go ahead and give this a try.
Productions, including their relationship status.
That's good right there.
Explain.
Okay, good.
I've been married for about 6 months. I've been in a relationship for about 7 years, and we are monogamous off camera, but we are open on camera.
To think that what you do digitally is different or should be represented differently than the way that you live within your personal life demonstrates the fall of society today. Those two things, just because you do it in the damn metaverse, are not different. You're not monogamous. As if doing it for viewers kind of lessens the blow of it being non-monogamy.
Yeah. So recently,
what does that mean?
Porn content. But besides that,
So they have to be getting paid if they're sleeping with other people. You like that? You like how I did that? Let's work.
So you recently were involved. You did like a reality TV series, kind of, to see who. Correct me if I'm wrong. To see who would be the next person who gets to have sexual intercourse with your wife, Lena. Is that the reality?
Okay, I want to stop right here so that way we could give our viewers enough time to give like proper context. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do, guys, right? So I have two versions of the videos for the ones who are watching. I have MTR's point of view, which is a little longer, but yet more detailed. I have another video that's reacted by like another YouTuber, a smaller one, but he goes like straight to the point. To give you guys our synopsis, basically, okay, this is a battle of morals between Saint and the Sinner versus Adam 22. Adam 22 is a guy, right, who has his wife that does, we're gonna say corn, okay? Replace the P with the C, right? So we have corn doing pornography, and what happens is that he's allowing other guys to pretty much like, have intercourse with his wife. Now, a guy like Saint and the Sinner, the guy who was black, bald head guy or whatever, he's looking at things in a morale point of view, as of like, if that was him in this situation, he wouldn't really allow that to happen. So he's questioning Adam 22's morality to see, like, how could he as a man really stand for this? Does he really feel comfortable? And is he really leading the show, or is his wife, doing the leading as far as to that part? I'll let Sophisticated Jerk, give his little answer to it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I like the background you gave, and one of the things I just caught already, and I think MTR was kind of pointing it out, is like Adam 22. He knows this shit is wrong and it don't look good. That's why he's trying to like justify, the bullshit pretty much. Where he's like, well, we're monogamous in our real life, but on camera, we're poly. It's like, man, the acts happen in real life, man. You can't have it both ways. So he's trying to do some wordsmithing pretty much to like, cover up the fact that, he's doing this bullshit because he knows like how it sounds out in the public and stuff. People giving him that pushback. So, it's just like, oh no, we only do it for money, man. It don't matter, man. You do the act, it's still the same. So yeah, he's definitely trying to do that wordsmithing. He's trying to be in that gray area, make it sound better and stuff. So yeah, definitely, I would say he ain't in that morality area. He's operating, based off the dollars, trying to make it sound good.
Yeah. Let me give a shout out to Lady Novia. She says, hey, fam, out of town, in the shy. So I can't really listen that much. But she's definitely with us. So thank you for tuning in, fam. Appreciate you for your support. Yeah. Hey, I mean, if you can't stick around, hey, at least just hit the likes and get the likes up for everyone and for the channel, and definitely appreciate you a lot. So yeah, definitely good breakdown, Sophisticated Jerk, man, because yeah, man, when you're wrong, man, you're wrong, but with Ab 22, I'm also having other speculations as well too. Maybe he's doing this for attention. I mean, he has like a good amount of money, or some people they get caught up where they fall in love with the wrong type of people, but it may be like a business point for him, or he just going with the flow with whatever his wife want to do. So let's go ahead. We're going to continue the video, but in a different version of it. So I'm going to switch this tab over here. Shouts to the small content creator named Zor. So he's going to break it down to the point with Adam 22, and we're going to hear what he has to say.
Blown completely out the water, bro. Adam 22 does everything in his life. Every move he makes is to become relevant on the internet. It's to get people to care about him. I'm not going to make this video and sit on a moral high horse and say that Adam 22 is morally wrong or morally inferior to me because he likes his woman being on camera for some money, dude. I do not actually give a fuck, because here is the thing. Here is why, guys. Adam 22 is in a very unique position than the rest of us. Adam 22 is not your regular Joe, guys. This man is in the 0.00001% of people. Nobody is out there making money by just like doing threesomes with their wives on the internet, right? Nobody makes money and gets a lot of fame off of that. Nobody is renting their wives out to other porn stars to just make money. Adam 22 is a unique individual. So we're about to look into the questions that he will actually ask on that podcast, right? And especially, guys, knowing how different his life is compared to the rest of the population, the questions that he was asked, we're going to go into them and see exactly what really led to him being triggered, right? Because the questions, too, played a big role in that.
With regards to bringing the other dude in, would you say that was primarily driven by her?
I would say it was very mutual. You know, after doing that Jason Lowe scene, we just didn't realize how viral the whole thing was going to be. Sort of push at the edges of our conventional relationship, and the people will be incapable. Well, I mean,
you said you were uncomfortable with the Jason Love scene initially.
I was a little conflicted about it. It was a little bit of a weird thing.
Yeah, at this point, I don't even think money is really the driving force.
To get it out there, me and her are both multimillionaires.
Right.
For many, many
years.
Yeah.
If it were just up to you and she were a robot as opposed to a human, and you could have it to where you could have things open on your side but closed on her side, would you prefer that?
It is primarily a financial thing, but also I can say that when we shot the scene with this other guy the other day, I had a great time.
Like your time was enhanced because he was there. Because me personally, I like my meat to be the only one on the set. Right. Do you think with all the unusual sexual experiences that it might lead you down the path to where you have to go to extreme things to get off?
Now,
okay. And I'm gonna try to skip over the scenes where he's just switching over to Call of Duty or whatever, right? Because we don't need to see all that. But I'm gonna go ahead and zoom out on this one. Okay, so I know you were saying facts, man. What was the facts that you want to point out, Sophisticated Jerk?
Man, because if you slap your last name on somebody, man, and I think like as a man, that should be a big thing, man. Your last name. Back in the days, people used to go to war for their last names and that lineage and the prestige that came with that. So for him to put his last name on her and then kind of pimp her out like that, just kind of just shows like that some of the sickness that people entertain. And I understand people got different lifestyles, but like what Satan Center was kind of pointing out, like you guys are good with the money. You had a nice, pretty good platform that he had built up, so you didn't even have to go down this lane and like do this to your family structure. And then like he also pointed out was like, man, I ain't let nobody run up in my wife. So we all know as guys, man, we're a little territorial, man. Especially when you love somebody. So it's just like, man, you're not gonna, like let somebody else like jump into that for the most part. So like when he was pointing out, he's like, man, typically guys want it maybe on their end if they're gonna go that route, not like open all the way and stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely agree with him on that.
Yeah, it's to me like it's weird, right? And I don't like to use the term like some beta type of ish or whatever, but it's like some weirdo type of Hollywood.
Oh, he beta, like
beta. but it's like almost like pre-Hollywood type of ish, right? Because like the fact that like what was the point of marrying her if pretty much like you're using her as a prostitute, and you're treating her like such. And I mean, granted, she's a part of that type of industry, and I know for her it's about making money, but come on, it's just so weird, like for you as a guy to really allow that and promote that to happen when you have other women that you could pretty much hire to do the work. But I really think, to me, honestly, it's about like, just getting the attention and getting more eyes on your channel. We do have a guest. I see you up, Lola. I'm going to bring you up in just a second. Before I bring Lola up, let me go ahead and give a shout out to, Smitty. Shout outs to Naeem Edwards. Salutes, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. All right. So let me go ahead and we're gonna bring Lola in this conversation. What up, Lola? How you doing?
What's good, Lola?
Hello, gentlemen. Hello. I set my notification for this one, but I'm like, this is great.
What's your take? What's your take on Adam 22?
Okay, so it is clear, although I don't really like Saint and Sinner personally, it's clear that he makes a very strong point. And I don't think it's anything personal. I think it applies to everybody. Like A plus B equals C. If you play with it too much, you're not going to get the right answer and it's going to be obvious. So when it comes to this whole sharing wife thing, right? There is the element of couples doing the swinging thing. And they have reported that it helps their marriage in terms of their internal working. I get that. But what we're looking at here does not reflect on, let's say, that community of couples that practice that, right? What it seems to me is this is something she enjoys and she's going to do. And he got his feelings involved. And he's trying to become more acclimated to it. And a part of him is acting as if he's really into it, when in truth, he's not. He's not really pimping his wife out. She actually the one doing the pimping for real. Like, even though he's front and center, I can read on top that he's not really pimping her out. This is something that he's doing so that he won't lose his wife. Now, mind you, let's not act like a lot of dudes ain't in the same situation, but it's not about, the corn, industry. A lot of men in marriages, some of these men that we might know, okay, I'm thinking of one in particular right now, wife be online with her tits out almost every day, trying to dibble and dabble in, the manosphere shit. And other men have made commentary that, dude, what you're doing with your wife says that this is your wife's thing, and you don't want to lose something that look good, so you going along for the ride. But truth be told, you ain't into this. You feel me? So it's like Adam ain't the only one. He just the only one operating on that level. But a lot of men wish they could tell their wife any damn thing and she would listen to it. But they tell themselves it's better for me to become acclimated to however she is than for me to get back out on the dating market and pretend I'm fitting to get something that look just as good as her. And so on and so forth. Like, that's a lot of times that's what it is. And I'll just say that.
That's a good take. So you saying in a manner like those females in those situations, they pretty much like leading that situation. Now Adam's pretty much just going out here trying to like salvage his manhood and try to act like he's the one like controlling the string, pulling the strings in this.
Yeah, because look at it this way, right? He genuinely has a connection with her, right? If he gets a divorce from her, right, what's the likelihood that he's going to run into another woman at his age that he's going to be genuinely attracted to, and money ain't going to be the truth of the bottom line in their relationship, and she's going to be okay with this whole pornography thing that he does, like, unless she's also in the industry too, right? Like, but again, he has a genuine connection to her and he don't want to lose that, because honestly, stepping outside of her, you ain't fitting to find that shit no more, let alone looking like how she looked on some genuine stuff. You ain't about to find that, sir. You older, okay? Women only want you for your money at these days. Having a woman that's with you because she genuinely like cares about you in some way, that's rare. So he's not trying to lose that. And to a degree, I can't blame him. He is in a sticky situation. But I must say this, if he practices that, it might be worth his while to practice that in a way that isn't so, let's say, bodacious. Because, people can smell when you ain't really sitting right. And now his manhood is being challenged by a lot of men, because they can smell the bitch in him. Sorry, they can just smell the bitch. And it's like, listen, do what you do to keep your marriage together. But when you put it out on Front Street, like you the man because you are doing this, sir, you are not the man because you are doing this. That's not what this is. But if you keep on playing with fire, trust me, you're going to be little pyro soon enough. But yeah,
No, I totally agree with you. Yeah, because it just sounds like you said, you could tell like he's hurt. Like, first of all, he would have rage quit if, he was truly in tune with everything and he was straight on board with it, And then even like, I was looking at some of the past interviews off of the first situation where you could tell like this thing like broke him down to the core, but he's just, like you said, pretty much like, I got to go with the flow because, we already done did this. It's out there. Yeah, nobody wants their name and their manhood played with, man. This cat right here, Adam 22, he make Will Smith look masculine. You know what I'm saying? Just to be real.
That's facts. That is facts right there. He making that is so much facts. But keep in mind, when he was doing multiple scenes with her and other women and stuff like that, who's to say that she wanted to do other women, but he got her into it. And now that she got into it, she kind of like it. And now she's like, well, look, I'm ready to make more money on this, and trust me, I'm gonna keep going, but are you willing to do what you asked me to do? And I remember him saying in public that when that was the case with his wife, it was only fair. I heard that word fair come out his mouth. Now, we're talking about human nature. Men are biologically set to be territorial in a different way physically than women are, and women are very territorial. Men are more territorial than women. So for him to act like he's all good with this, he has to see his wife in a way that most men would see just a piece of meat for him to manage that. And this is what he has to do to keep his sanity. But I'm gonna be honest with you, that his sanity is not what's happening, because if that was the case, he wouldn't have rage quit on Satan Center on that platform. I mean, that podcast. He wouldn't have, because this is his life that he's putting out there. So why would you rage quit because somebody asks you a question that makes sense to what you have already said? Like, if you said you and your wife are good with this and somebody says, okay, you said that, however, you also said this. Why is it that these two things are not congruent? You should be able to explain that. But if you can't explain that, rage quitting only tells people, oh, then it's true. You're not really into this. It's just you trying to keep a bitch. But okay, a lot of dudes simp hard in relationships and marriages. This is what you call a simp. She can do that without him. He knows that, but he don't want to let her go. Why? Is it that it's not a billion other women on this planet? I'm sorry, 7 billion other women on this planet? No, it ain't that. It's because it's something else he's holding on to in a relationship that he feels he can't get elsewhere. And I'm gonna be honest with you, this is a sad state of affairs in America.
Now she dropping that game right there. I got one more thing to ask you, and then we'll go to everybody else. So you think he kind of opened up Pandora's box, or do you think she kind of like, to a certain degree, maybe she kind of knew like he was going to go down this path, like, so she let him like, do the scenes with the other women, and then eventually like she was going to come back and be like, hey, it's my turn type of thing?
No, I don't think she knew it, because she doesn't give me the impression that she knew it was going to get here. She gave me an impression that she started it because, like, it was okay. Like, it didn't push her boundaries, but so much. And it was her husband. So she kind of found it to be okay because it's her husband, right? But then when it got to a point where she was making so much money and the idea of her and another guy was on the table. And then I think when they did their first scene, how it went viral and all this other stuff, now she felt like, oh man, this is my time to shine. Now I really found my niche. But it wasn't his niche. It was her niche. And she had to, as he said, become comfortable with it. At the end of the day, if you're a porn star, you're a porn star. Needing to become comfortable with porn, I'm sorry, what are we talking about?
We're gonna replace the P with the C though, corn.
Porn star? What are we talking about? You need to become comfortable with porn? All right, sir, we know you are a liar. But at this point, I need you to just be honest that you're not okay with this and you're trying to keep your marriage together. Trust me, there's dudes doing worse things to keep their marriages together. But he, again, is not the only one. He's just the only one operating at that level in terms of the finances. But trust me, there's simping going on in a lot of these relationships, especially celebrity relationships.
Yeah, she a little two-sided around the chocolate, man, like Willy Wonka and shit. So
I mean, that's enough candy to feed like her taste buds. Before we get to Mr. Best and Smitty, and salute to you guys, for everybody that wants like proper context to it, in the next part of the video, before we play that, just let you know, you'll see the part when he becomes like, angry and starts to rage quit. But I want to give shout outs to Intellectual Soapbox and Smitty. If you guys want to rock out real quick, feel free to rock out.
Yeah, I'll say this. I think for those who have ever watched the show Big Love, this is not something new. This is something that happens all the time. You know what I mean? There's different alternative lifestyles that happen all the time. Now, I think in America it's becoming more the norm, but it is something that is still taboo. You know what I mean? It's not something that we just are seeing everywhere. You know what I mean? You're not going to your local supermarket or to your Walmart, to your Target, or just to the park, or just walking around your neighborhood and you seeing a dude with like 3, 4 different, five different wives, and he's kissing on them, hugging them. You're not seeing that normally, right? You're not seeing a wife with 2 or 3 different husbands or 2 or 3 different partners or doing different things. You're not seeing that on a normal basis. So it's still taboo. But these are things that are actually happening. Like I said, there's a show called Big Love about this. I believe it's on HBO or Showtime or one of these networks. But this is something that is happening. You know what I mean? And it's happening more than what you believe that it's happening. You know what I mean? So there's nothing wrong with it. But I think a lot of times it's just like any community that is taboo or that's not basically represented, you know what I'm saying, completely. It's looked at, it's looked at a certain way, so people feel ashamed. Just like the LGBTQ plus A community, right? We know back in the days they wasn't getting the support they was getting now. Wasn't happening, right? They wasn't on commercials. It wasn't. You didn't have to take sensitivity training for it when you work a career or you were doing certain business endeavors. You know what I'm saying? None of these things were happening back in the day. None of it. But now it is, right? Because now they have a backing. They have a financial backing and they have a backing, with the government and everywhere else where they're actually protected. You know what I mean? Salute the Kings of Dreams. Thanks for the love, bro. You know what I mean? So, like, that's you know what I mean? That's really, really the big thing about this, right? Because, you know what I mean, it's not something that is right now, you know what I mean, socially accepted. You know what I mean? Whether it's financially or anything else. I bet you if they start running commercials about that, you know what I mean? If you start have to take sensitivity training about that at your job, if they start prepping you and telling you that this is something that you need to, embrace, you know what I mean? Yeah, it was on HBO. Thank you, brother. You know what I mean? If this is something that you have to, embrace, you know what I mean? And shout out to Embrace the Grace, much love. You know what I mean? No pun intended. But if it's something that you had to like just kind of like gather and make acceptable, you will start to see this as not as taboo as it really is, right? Just like we see the LGBTQ plus A now, we don't see them as taboo no more, right? We don't see if we see 2 men walking down and they holding hands, we ain't tripping no more because now we've learned that this is acceptable. So this is just something that's not acceptable yet. So he probably feels the weight of trying to hold that because he's not accepted. His wife is not accepted. You know what I mean? Everywhere they go, they're gonna get this heat everywhere. You know what I'm saying? No other community is getting this heat. You know what I mean? You can have a trans person, they're not gonna get this heat. They're not. You know what I mean? Why? Because we know better. We know we give a trans person this heat, then we gonna get some heat back. You know what I mean? And it's gonna come in different forms. It's gonna come from our job saying something, from our career saying something, maybe even our own friends or family members saying something. We're gonna get heat. We know that for a fact. We even know that on social media. You can't say nothing about those communities. Them or even religious communities as far as like the Jews or Muslims or even certain Christian communities. You know to keep your mouth shut. But now, you know what I'm saying, with Adam 22 and his wife, you can't, you know what I mean? Everybody taking shots because it's easy to do that, right? It's easy to do that because people are able to get their jollies off. But once that becomes acceptable and it's get passed into law, just like everything else that gets passed into law, we're gonna be sitting here and being and not being able to say nothing or play videos or even comment on anything they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it works. So, you know what I mean? Eventually it'll become acceptable. You know what I mean? They're not gonna break up anytime soon. Just like Will and Jade ain't breaking up anytime soon because they live kind of a lifestyle kind of similar to that. You know what I mean? When they're sharing people and sharing partners and, sharing both men and women both. I hope y'all know that. I hope you know that Will and Jada possibly, allegedly, are both sharing men and women. So don't just think that, like if she gets a man that he don't have parts of that man too. I'm pretty sure they're both sharing both. Okay? So, with that being said, this is just something that's taboo right now. It will become socially normal in the future. And I land my plane.
Thank you, Mr. Intellectual Soapbox. Before I get to you, Smitty, I gotta give a big shout outs, man, to Kings and Dreams, man. Thank you so much, man, for the $5 donation. Appreciate it, my brother. Thank you so much, man. Much love. And let's see. And K Mary says, okay. She says, respect to Smitty. All right, Smitty, your goal, my brother.
Okay. Salute to everybody. What are we talking about exactly? I think I'm gonna have to watch more of the video, but I'll tap in on what I've heard thus far. I actually know a true story. All right. Shout out to Lola. I know a true story of a homeboy of mine who his girl, she wanted him to have a threesome for her birthday, but she wanted to have it with one of our homeboys with him. So did that. And long story short, she wound up leaving him for him in the end of it all. So it just turned out to be a big ass mess. So when you're talking about, like folks that stay in relationships because they just want to keep her, yes, that definitely can be very true for some men. That is very valid. It's not all cases, of course, but that shit be going on. And it's more than a one-off. And then the second part that I would say is, as far as like, the letter community, language and stuff, and things are very crazy now because, yes, we cannot say anything about them at all, right? But the one thing I always pay attention to is why is that? And that's because throughout the process of that whole movement, they stayed on a united front. Whether you agree with the lifestyle or not, which I personally don't, right? But I do look at how they move as a unit, and they did the damn thing. Like, they did the damn thing. And if us as black men, I'm honest with this shit, had just a quarter of that, man, I'm trying to tell you right now, we can move mountains, dead ass. So the main reason why you're not able to say anything about them is because they made sure that you took them serious. You didn't see too many things of, of course we all know everybody go back and forth, but they don't be down in each other. They always make sure if somebody come for one of them, then you came for all of us. We don't have that type of headspace when it comes to our own. We'll tear down our greats in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, no problem. That shit ain't nothing. Like a lot of us live to think of a reason to tear down our great ones. And then we'll turn right around and be like, where are all the great leaders? Like I said before. So, with that being said, so far, yeah, man, great discussion. I digress. My mic is muted. Rock out.
I'm hitting Smitty with a suplex, man. He ain't shot me out. But anyway, with that being said,
so I've talked to you in the chat room. My bad, bro.
Like I told you every day, man. Leave me alone. So
you already know,
with that being said, like he's completely right. Like they don't have the support yet, right? You know what I mean? There's not support for that poly community yet, right? But that support is coming. Oh, trust me, it is. It will come. And when it does, right, we're gonna be sitting here like, damn, intellectual was right, dog. You know what I mean? They actually done formed up, gained up like Voltron, and now they have a whole community. You know what I mean? They done had TV shows and all. There's another TV show about that too. It's on Netflix. It's the same thing like Big Love. It's a little different though. They got it's more multicultural. But you know what I mean? So
I got a question about that when you get a chance.
Go for it, bro.
Okay. I don't think they're. Oh, go ahead, Osh.
Go ahead, Lola.
Well,
ladies first. Ladies first.
I thank you, sir. Thank you. Somebody's still traditional.
Oh Lord.
What I want to just add in is this: the advent of the multiplicity of sexuality amongst women, right? Is I think the issue, because I think we've understood and as a culture accepted that men like to have sex with multiple women. multiple men, whatever the case may be. But the influx of the idea of women being able to have the same autonomy sexually and not compete, but in terms of maybe the definition of sexuality with men, this is where the problem is coming in at, because it challenges the traditional notion that when women want more than one man, it's because they have trauma, it's because of all these negative things versus men, when in reality, it's not so much about, well, trauma, it's not. It's the fact that when you select a partner to have children with, there's a give and take thing that you have to deal with. It's sort of like in the animal kingdom. Like once you get to a certain point, there's certain things you can and can't do if you want to keep said family circumstance together. However, the nature of humans are equal in terms of sexuality. Like it is, but traditionally we have not been able to say a woman can want more than one man and think that she's still a good woman. Like we can't say that to ourselves, but we can say men want multiple women and don't want to get married, but yet they're still good men. But we're not there with the women. But big fam, big love or whatever. This is disproving the notion that men can be with women like that and have productive relationships. Now, granted, Adam 22, his relationship is not productive. I know that. I don't think
not at all.
It's not productive. No. It's not. It's really not. As a man, he has to contend with the fact that, as Jerk said, she actually likes black men and she prefers black dick over him and his. Now, why she married to him? Because she's a white woman and it's more profitable to be married to a multi-million-dollar white man than an average Joe black man with a big dick. Like, let's just be clear.
Oh my God.
No, I'm just being honest. I ain't trying to knock on nothing, but that's the reality. And he has to live with that. Now, historically, white men have hated that. Whole towns have went up in flames historically behind that notion that a white woman might have been touched and liked it from a black man. This is why everybody says don't fuck with them, because of the history with black men dealing with them, not because of just some old white women got better hair stuff. Like, no, that's not it. So I understand why his wife is saying, as a white woman, I'm gonna do what I want to do and I'm gonna make it good. I'm not gonna let these white men stop me. If you want to be on my train, you can stay on this train, or you can go to another train and sit in the back. Whichever one you want, I'm doing. And now they moving on. White women are really moving on. So this is what I'm saying. In our community, though, that's not going to really go over too well, because we got other issues that they don't have, that we haven't quite worked through. And that mixed in with black issues is a disaster. That's what I will say.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you, Lola. I don't ever think there will be a lot of support for this, because if you look at the guys that typically end up doing this type of stuff, you know, it's like, what's that little dude with the blue hair, Destiny, Adam 22? Oh, well, they're not masculine men. You know, ain't no masculine guy gonna like sit there and allow this to happen. And, you know, he gonna, you know, put his last name on something and stuff. So, yeah, that's why I think there won't be a lot of support, because most men, whether it's ego driven, whatever, you know, you just ain't gonna allow that really to happen on our end. No guys are really gonna support that. Maybe girlfriend and stuff like that, they'll support that. But when it comes to wifey, man, I don't see that happening.
On a side note, it's crazy because Destiny lost to a man that was weaker than him.
Oh yeah. They was a race to a bottom, like you said.
No, but y'all wouldn't do that, right? Or y'all wouldn't see that as masculine. But there's some people who would see that as masculine, even accept it. You know what I'm saying? Now, for me, I don't float that way, because that's just me. You know what I mean? I believe in a certain way that I like to live. Like I said, there's a lot of traditional things that I actually like, right? That may not make no sense to others. You know what I mean? Some people may say, oh, well, that's old school, or that's dumb, or whatever. You know what I mean? But I don't care. That's how I like my relationships. As I always say, I like ketchup on my hamburger. I don't care what you want on yours, right? So if a relationship's on a hamburger, I want ketchup on mine. I don't care what you want on yours, right?
But 84, can you say that this might be a cultural issue too? Because we all know that white people...
Almost definitely. We know that for a fact, right? So we know the into a little bit. Like the show Big Love, it was mostly them on there, right? With that being said, right? And I'm not trying to, be, racist or whatever, but it's just certain things that I see that's more norm for them than it is for us, right? But at the end of the day, right? Also, the one thing we also gotta keep perception of too, and as you play the clip of him rage quit, and I'll kind of delve into this more. Nobody likes to talk about their relationship, dog. And I'm gonna be honest, like you could have had the greatest time with your woman. Y'all could have went to the Bahamas. Know what I mean? You could have went to go to the Beyonce concert and y'all holding hands, you're making love, everything going good. And your own parents could call you and ask you, hey, how your relationship going? Oh, we good. Nobody likes talking about their relationship, dog. Nobody likes to talk about the relationship. No matter if it's traditional or non-traditional. We don't like talking about our relationships to people. Because it's really nobody's business. We get real uptight. That's like somebody asking what color underwear you're wearing. Like, nobody wants to talk about that. You know what I mean? That's just how we are. We all built that way. We know it. M3, you know it too. We all know it. Sophisticated Jerk, you know it. Lola, you know it. And Smitty, you know it too. We don't like giving details about our relationships. We don't.
Yeah,
I don't even want to know about other people's relationships.
No. See, these females out here love to put their relationships on blast. Like, what are you talking about?
That's females, though.
No, that's social media women. And social media men as well too when they be doing that stuff too though. It's people who's addicted to social media, heavily invested into it. Those are the ones that put their business out there. I know you was going to say something too. I didn't want to forget about you before I start playing the video. Go ahead, Smitty.
You good? My bad. I got it, man. I was curious. And I definitely want to hear from Lola because she's the only woman up here as well as the fellas. For men and women, I be wondering, what I personally call that poly stuff, the polygamy, I call it sexual gluttony. I'm curious, do you all believe that there is any possible way to truly, how we say, I love you, babe, like you're in love with that person? Can you do that with multiple people at once like that? Or are these relationships designed to only be extremely lustful? I digress. My mic is muted.
Okay. So here's the thing, right? These relationships in nature are lust, and we all know the definition of lust. It is. Men want multiple women. Now, wanting multiple women has a lust factor first, right? Now, men can care about a lot of people, but to say that a man loves more than one, it's like, come on now, it takes a lot for a man to love a woman, let alone 6. Like, come on. Like, let's just be clear about that. But when we talk about lust, this is a natural part of our being that has a place. There's a place for lust in every relationship. But when you start talking about the poly lifestyle and what it does, for instance, like if you're a woman and you practice the poly lifestyle, right? Generally speaking, unless you do the whole threesome thing with 2 men and then they're kind of like sweet on each other or whatever, one man has to wait. That goes against the nature of a man that wants to get it in when he want to get it in. That literally goes against the nature of the male spouse, basically. So it doesn't make any sense. And then on the flip end, when it comes to a bunch of women are catty, especially over their emotions when it comes to men. So you're telling me that this is the case? I remember a scenario I was in. Like, dude was like, I can't show any of y'all affection in public because I got to do it for everybody. So that means everybody got to suffer. That's not a relationship. That's just a relationship based on your lust factor for multiple women. I don't want to be in no relationship with a man that tells me he can't show me affection in public because he got to do it for somebody else and he don't feel like doing it for everybody. So fuck me. No, that's not how it goes. So it's like listen, if you like the lust factor, then like the lust factor. But let's be clear. I don't see no long lasting relationships that's built like that. Even the one that was longer that I know of about the white guy with the 5 white women that was kind of plus size on Discovery Channel. Even 1 or 2 of them wanted a divorce after almost 15, 20 years.
Oh, they all jetting on that relationship.
I last checked in when the second one wanted a divorce, but they said they wanted a divorce because they got bored with that lifestyle and they wanted something else. And one has to ask, what are you bored with? That seems to be very exciting for you to have to keep up with every single minute of the day. You know what's really bored about it? The lust factor is now gone. When that lust factor is left and you're up and down, you can't keep on dealing with that same dumb shit because now you're on a whole nother level of maturity. So again, lust has a place, but when you want like you said, relationship gluttony, like that runs its course. At some point, people get tired of that because they're human. So it's like you can do it while you're young if you want to, but in reality, that's not going to help you in the long run, which is what you ultimately want. But Adam 22 got a hot white woman that he likes, and right now it's working for him. But I bet you, when he got ED, and she know, it's not going to be working for him. He can't do them scenes to her. Yeah, that's not going to be working out. I bet you his
Lola,
white side is going to come out.
Are you saying conventionally that we all just want to be with one person? Are you trying to say that for both men and women?
Well, yeah, naturally, that's ultimately what we're all working towards. Because again, when you're sick, right? And let's suppose you're 60 years old and you get sick, you can't get up out the bed. You're not really thinking about a bunch of, sex. You're thinking about somebody taking care of you. You see what I'm saying? When you need somebody to fall back on in terms of mental stability to help you through a thing, you're not thinking about all the women that can come and sit in front of you and pretend she cares. That's not what you're thinking about. You think about one person that you can always know got your back emotionally and at heart. Like, you can't do that with a bunch of females because that's not how it works. It's not what it's about. So my thing is, if you like the lifestyle, good for you. But I know what the fuck I know, and history has told a long ass story, and that shit has never worked. Find me one polygynous relationship in history or biblically that you want to be in.
Well, I mean, King Solomon had a whole bunch of chicks or whatever.
Yeah, right. Okay, let's talk about Solomon. Let's talk about Solomon real quick, right? Since we talk about Solomon, he had how many wives and concubines?
I don't know why you said that, man. 3.
I don't know like that number. I don't know that number. Say again.
800 women, right?
Yeah, like 800 something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Here it is. I'm about if I put you in a room and your wife, so you know what, you can have sex with 799 women, and I put 799 women in one room. You telling me that don't scare you in terms of STDs, children, your ability to take care of them? And trust me, we want to pretend Solomon was rich and stuff, but that's not it. Okay. Really? You telling me that right there is a lifestyle you want? You want to be able to satisfy 800 women? Really?
Yes.
See, I was about to say, it's niggas like soap out there. It's niggas like soap out there.
Okay, you want to be able to satisfy 800 men. How many women are being satisfied right now?
Don't go down that road because when y'all going down that road, I go down that road on y'all. When you go down that road, man, I go down that road with y'all. Because
22%.
Hold on. We've had a discussion.
22%. No.
You're always talking about how men cannot satisfy women, but most of y'all can't even take the satisfaction that we give. So let's stop it. Come on.
Let me talk because unless the 22% isn't your woman, then my facts stand true. 22% of women ever being satisfied in any relationship. So you're telling me the average guy that wants to have sex with 800 women is actually going to satisfy him? Now tell me how a man going to feel when 86% of women that he's sleeping with says his dick ain't shit.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Yeah.
Come on, man. Y'all need to stop that shit.
Hold on. Okay. So real quick, right? Because I know we have Jay in the building. I gotta play the video real quick, right? So we get to the point. But I'm gonna carefully answer this question to you, right? And we're gonna wrap up to the video, and we're gonna come back, Lola. I promise we're gonna come back to that one. But you have to understand too, right? We can't go by off of white statistics. I'm just gonna say it like that. Jay Takashi, good seeing you. I want to make sure that's you real quick. Colin Jay, is that you? Okay, I don't hear no response from Jay. So
let me ask Smitty's question because I thought that was a great question. It's definitely gluttony, and I think, man, once you in true love with somebody, you don't want to share that person with anybody. So, like, kind of what Lola was saying, people are with each other for convenience, whether that's lust, whatever, and it's short term because once like something happens to those individuals, they're moving on to the next person. So yeah, any guy, just even looking at it from a guy's perspective, you love that woman, and like I said, you slap your last name on her, you ain't gonna let her go out there and 7-Eleven the coochie, man. You just you ain't gonna let that happen, man. So I'm with you on that.
Okay. Let me go ahead and
Hey,
play
real
the
quick,
video
I got a
quick.
phone call. I'm gonna come right back up. My bad. I'll be right back.
No, you good. All right, let's go ahead and continue the video real quick. Because I want to see the part like, man, like when he gets flustered and he really rage quits. So let's go ahead and play it.
Get you to break. And the problem here is Adam 22 has been on the internet for a decade now. He should understand that people like this are going to come up and going to try to take you a little bit and get a reaction off of you. And he didn't even, like, the fact that he didn't even notice that he did. I mean, you might have noticed it, but he fell right in. He got played like a baby. Adam 22 looked like a fool in this situation. He looked like a little kid rage quitting a Call of Duty game, which is just wild, guys. And again, that's why this is so popular. And when we talk about the questions that he was actually being asked, they were actually valid questions. We got to give credit to Sin and the Sinner here. These were valid questions. And after we heard some of Adam's responses to these questions, we really get a sense of how Adam see the situation that he's in. We really got the sense that Adam doesn't know why he's doing what he's doing. He thinks it's for money, and sometimes he thinks it's not for money. So we don't really know if it's for money or not, because this guy is not consistent on that. So if it's not about money and all that, how does Adam 22 within his own mind allow something like this to happen, right? Like if he doesn't need money anymore, he just sits down and he has way too much money to spend.
Skip this little part.
Sit down and be entertained. Adam 22 does it for us, guys. At the end of the day, I thank him for allowing Lena the Plug to get by Jason Love, for allowing her to get piped by that other dude on their weird ass TV show that they just created. It is sad, but it's also funny and it's entertaining to talk about.
Okay.
I'm like, man, I think this dude's gonna get to the point, man. But look, I'm gonna switch over to like MTR Man, because at least he had like better context with this one, and he shows the part when he definitely rage quits. But to kind of sum things up or whatever, right? I agree with what Mr. Best says. Like, I don't like nobody. I wouldn't want nobody coming to me with some questions, asking me about my relationships. But at the same time, in this scenario with Adam 22 versus Saint the Sinner, they already had some prior pretty much engagements before come up to the show. And Saint the Sinner didn't even know that Adam 22 was going to come up on the Forever podcast. He was just requested by someone, and then he wound up showing up. So that also kind of led to some other tension, even though Saint the Sinner tried to play it cool. Let me go ahead and search for that real quick, because.
Well, I addressed to the Jason Love thing. It was just once it actually took place, I had a tiny amount of buyer's remorse, that I quickly replaced with realizing like, oh, this is not a big deal. Nothing changed in our relationship after she shot with another guy. So that was pretty abated quickly.
Right. So it's like called the inversion of morals, which is to say that truth be told, in your heart of hearts, you're not comfortable with it. You want to retain your spouse.
Moments of
one second. I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you at all, because I do want to hear you out.
You're kind of pushing like a fake narrative by saying that I'm uncomfortable with it.
But I never interrupted you. I never interrupted you because I want to hear you out. I
just wanted to save you a little bit of breath by correcting you.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get you angry. I sincerely am interested in what you have to say, but I didn't interrupt you one time. So the reason I ask is because, as I said, you started off, you said that you felt uncomfortable when it happened. She brought up the conversation. You're not bisexual. So sometimes when things happen, and
he did ask him what he buy.
You make the adjustment, compromising, but in your heart of heart, that's not really what you wanted. So you're being open, and then you have this idea planted, and then you start adopting it, thinking like, okay, well, I'm okay with it. Maybe it's something that I signed off on too. So you assign it mutuality when in actual fact, the inception of that idea came from her, and you've adjusted to it.
I wouldn't say the inception of the idea came entirely from her. This is a conversation.
And those were definitely some great questions that he asked him.
As we met more and more male.
Let's skip over to the 20-minute mark.
every girl sitting on this side of
Okay,
the
hold
table.
on, go back a little bit.
And then you walk away, tell someone else Jack and Coke. They hand you a Jack and Coke. You come back and bring it back to me and hope that I would give you a good tip. That's your skill set.
And what about it? It's a hard work. And what about it? What about it?
Yeah.
In a minute, this is where he's gonna start rage quitting.
If I
So
took your brain and placed your brain into a man's body, you would be impoverished
You caught me.
because you're brainless.
Oh.
Carrying on.
You're right, yeah. I'm just good for nothing. Yep, you caught me.
No, you are good for something. That's why you have OnlyFans, and that's my point. Is that that's what you're good for? And I'm not trying to be rude, but it's just
I
that
think you
we're.
are trying to be rude.
No, I'm just being honest.
That's all. I mean, being
I do
honest.
think we
Do
should
you even know who I am as a person? I mean, before like throwing these insults that I'm just this brain
should
dead
avoid
fucking
ad
woman who has
hominem.
nothing
No,
to offer.
But is it ad hominem when you
You
actually
need to address that comment too.
might?
what comment?
That comment that she said, like, you're throwing an insult at me saying that I'm just this brain person. We need to address that too, by the way.
Okay, go ahead and address it real quick.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So, like I said, even though I don't like Saint Center, he did not insult her. He literally told her that if we put you on a man in society, you play no part in it. Therefore, you are useless. If men were only good for being took pictures of, we wouldn't have a civilized society if that was all men were good at. So this is what he said, and it's like she didn't even put the math together, which shows me how coddled white men, i.e. Adam 22 and his comrades, have made white women that goes to why his wife acts the way she acts with him, and she's bold about it. This bitch heard a legitimate statement being said about men and put that shit on her to mean she's brain dead, when in reality, what she really means is, I am brain dead. I just don't want to be told that I'm brain dead. It don't take a whole brain for you to turn around and take a picture of your ass, or spread your legs open and take a picture, or record yourself touching yourself. It don't take anybody with any intellect to do that. And she knows that. But she's going to challenge him because a part of her thinks because she's white that he's stupid, even though he said the most logical thing on this fucking planet. This is why Adam 22's wife is saying, you know what? Fuck you white niggas too.
Well, Lola, right? To be fair, right? And I don't know if that's his wife, the brain dead woman that's talking, right? I think that.
Nah, that's not his wife, but it was.
But to be fair, right? You know, you have to understand, right? You know, the trigonometry with the camera system, right? It takes a lot of work to get the adjustment of the ISO. You want to get like the frame rate that's going in. You want to get a certain angle. And that is definitely important, right? So you have to understand.
I know you is not sitting here trying to put that woman on an intellectual level because she can use a phone camera. That's not what I know you're doing right now, M3.
You know, a lot of people don't really know how to use like the smartphones properly. Like, look, I got a Samsung Galaxy S23.
I know most infants don't. Most infants don't know. No, most infants, you're right, don't know how to use the camera because they don't really know shit. But once they turn 2 years old, they definitely know. And that's how much her ass knows about fucking phones.
Yeah, just to tackle the point too, Shorty's dumb as a box of rocks. And you know, the funny thing is, like, when people put themselves in like bad situations, like by the choices they make, whether it's like, you know, they get these OnlyFans pages or whatever, you know, they don't want, like Lola was saying, they don't want the backlash that comes with that. But it's just like, man, you can't have it both ways. If you go down certain paths, we already know how society perceives those type of acts. So you can't try to act like you an intellect and, you know, you go down certain paths and stuff. It's just dumb, you know, at the end of the day. So yeah, what they're trying to do is, oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying, for what you're saying, look at Adam. He's sitting there, right, knowing good and damn well that what Saint Center is saying is a factual statement, right? But he's not going to say anything because his white counterpart's dumbness works in his favor in the moment. Meanwhile, in reality, the system don't work that way, where women like her actually like is considered more than a dumb blonde, no matter if she's a brunette. Okay, they have his system that his ancestors created has a place for women like that, which is and used to be in the whorehouse and now it's up on OnlyFans because it came off the corner. White society has a place for women like that, but because white men let their women do basically everything and they have never checked them, and now it went too far, now white men are pushing back. And Adam 22, he represents the problem with white men, because he should have checked Shorty, whether he agreed with Saint and Sinner at all. He should have checked Shorty to be like, hold on, as a man, I'm telling you right now, if all I was good for my wife is just being taken a picture of, she wouldn't be a millionaire, and I definitely wouldn't be here right now and you sitting beside me because I got money. So let's be clear about what this man just said, even though I still love the fact that my wife fucking black niggas. Like, whatever. Like, he should have checked Shorty, but he not gonna check her because of her skin and where she belongs, pretty much. So this is what I'm saying, and this is the problem that we gotta address. It ain't just Adam 22; it's the white bitches too.
Right. No, I
think it's more or less a morality issue, and I think why he's not checking her is because they on a similar path. So it's just like he got to kind of let her. He can't check her because then it'll open him up to criticism based on what acts him and his wife are doing too. So I think they're all kind of they know like those type of acts is wrong, but it's just like, you know what, let's group up and let's all support each other because we know it's bullshit at the end of the day. We know how society perceives this, but it's like, you know what, we're gonna stick together and we're gonna try to make it as much as moral as possible, to kind of combat what he's saying and stuff. But yeah, no, I mean, he's spitting
something. Jerk, do you think that sort of relationship is the same relationship trajectory that black women and men should take, that black men should support black women no matter what the fuck they do, and vice versa?
No. I don't even think most white dudes are up for this type of situation. Like the dudes I'm with, man, they ain't letting their wives go out here and do this. So they be like, man, they'll shut that shit down. Nah, they're just, I think they're just on some, I'm not going to say demonic, but, just not moral things where they're just trying to justify their lifestyles. So they're going to go down with it. But yeah, definitely we wouldn't stand for that. But yeah, I don't think majority of people want to share their wives,
As a culture, we don't operate that way from a conglomerate standpoint. And I don't mean as in to make it about that single individual issue, but as a conglomerate, right? If me and you was in a room and a white man said something to me and then I made a dumb statement about men in general, right? No black man is going to sit there and just take up for me simply because I'm black. They're going to put me in my place in terms of the fact of the matter. Even though they'll still technically be black and proud, they will still put me in my place and say what's wrong. White men, on the other hand, I don't know. This right here is a systemic issue with them. White women are literally have been off the charts since the 50s. And they just been going along with it because it suits their imperative at the end of the day. So this is why it ain't just Adam 22. His wife is equally the problem. He is equally the problem. And people that like them are equally the problem.
Nah, that's facts. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Wally, what's up, man? How you doing, bro?
What's good, Wally?
What's going on, everybody?
Not much, man. How you doing?
I'm all right.
All right, that's good. That's good, man. Did you get a chance to take a look in the beginning of the stream?
Yeah, I saw a little bit of the clip on that part.
Okay. All right, no worries then. Let me hurry up and play like the last part of the video, and then we could dive more into it. All right, we're already at the 1 hour mark too, so hold on.
And you're only calling me brainless because I'm the only one responding to you.
Do you think, what I think? I'm a little bit upset. Just so you know, every girl sitting on this side of the table earns more money than him.
Yeah.
He's an imposter. He's been outed in the past. He basically larps out the rich guy on the internet.
Now, just to give a little bit of context, Saint was going back and forth with the young lady who I believe has an OnlyFans with some degree of sex work. I was talking to her regarding her relative worth or utility on the planet. As to say is that if you take your skill set and if you were to become a man, well, you wouldn't be worth much to this world. Adam interjects because this is an attack to Adam as well, because he's into S work as well.
I was
And I just,
absolutely
on
poor.
behalf
It would mean
of all the
nothing.
girls,
It would mean nothing.
I think we all are in kind of in
That's
agreement that
amazing.
we don't really want to sit here and listen to someone who's basically a scam artist tell us what's wrong with our lives.
This is amazing.
What do you do?
I'm on the edge of walking out my own. Totally.
I'm not walking out. I'm like,
What do you do?
out of
I just
confidence.
don't
No,
really
what do you
want
do
to listen to a scam artist
You
tell me
can,
what's
what do you do?
Google my name. You can Google my name right now. You can Google my name.
If you Google his name,
And I heard,
exhilarating.
I heard your feelings earlier, and
You didn't hurt my
I
feelings
did
at all.
hurt
It's just
your
you're
feelings
trying to
earlier. And
do
the
this
whole
whole
chat
moral
hurt
superiority
your
thing,
feelings.
and it's not
the
working
whole
because
chat
you're
hurt
broke.
your feelings. The
You're
whole chat.
actually broke.
Here's the
You
funny.
got a good on top of your head.
Here's the funny thing.
I'm just being real with you.
If I was actually broke, it literally would mean nothing to me.
Then
If
prove
I
it.
had a
Sample on your fans for like $400.
silly,
Checkmate.
Silly.
This guy's a scammer.
The first time when I saw this, I was saying to myself, oh, they must have a particular history. If you guys know what this history is, feel free to leave it down in the comment box down below, because I'm not familiar with it. But I find it so odd that you said you're trying this
I got you.
moral superiority thing.
Did he?
All right.
Did Adam 22 say? And I just want to be clear on what I heard.
Yeah, he said, "Nigga, you broke."
No. Okay, so he told him that basically he's right because him and his white bitches make more money than him. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
He's trying to justify it from I'll say a monetary standpoint.
Okay, so here's how this is going to work. He's going to have to keep that same energy everywhere. But Donald Trump makes more money than all of us here. That means he deserved to be president, doesn't he? Right? Hold on. Putin got more money than Donald Trump. Putin should be president of America, right? Because he got more money, right? Who was wrong in the Cuban Missile Crisis? Whoever got the most money is the side that we should be on. See, this is what I'm saying. When it comes to certain communities, okay, they always want to one-up themselves based on their social status when they know they can't concede the point on anything else. And this is what I'm talking about. It's always this undertone that because you're black, you're not as intelligent as I am. And when I get to the point where I have to prove my intelligence to a black man, now it's a problem. Now that white bitch don't have no problem fucking Saint Center. She really don't. But the minute he tell her, shorty, I'm the man and I'm telling you as a man what it is and I'm right. Oh, now they got a problem. Now they're not docile. Now they're not the best women on the planet anymore. Now they're not. You see what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about. You got to look at things not just in context of the individual incident, but generally speaking, how this thing really goes. And this is where my frustration come in at when it comes to black men taking up for any other race of men and or women out here in a world where this man clearly said something that every human being can agree with, but yet he's being told that he is wrong because he doesn't have the same social status as a white man and a white woman per the white man. Like, get the fuck out of here. This is what's really pissing me off. And I know Saint Center ain't gonna say it because, you know, he don't want to make shit about race and shit like that because he don't see color. But clearly, okay, the color is in the room and it's just him.
But I think, you know, Adam and them, they're going to try to justify, you know, they're, like I said, they're trying to justify their position by any means. So now they're going to the monetary thing because he pretty much crushed them, you know, and pointed out the hypocrisy in their statements, the contradictions. But at the end of the day, it's just like, I would never sell my masculinity, like I said, my last name for some money. I would rather work at McDonald's than be letting my chick getting piped down by other dudes. So it's just like,
that's the stupidity of it all. He's gonna sit there and say because him and or this chick makes money, then that means that he's correct. And you can't, those two ideas are non-congruent. Just because you're making money off of anything doesn't mean that, let's say, gravity isn't gravity because you're making money. Like, how? See, this is how stupid people are. That his racism, and I'm gonna say, Adam 22 is a racist. Okay, he sat there and told that man that you ain't. It doesn't matter what your intellect is. I got more social status than you. What? What are we doing here?
That's where it comes into, like, when people, it's almost like having like a flex contest where you cannot intellectually spar with a person who's actually giving you the true facts, and you're just giving them a bunch of emotion and mixed conversations along with it, because you're really trying to dodge the truth and the matter of the fact. So you're trying to dodge the truth and the matter of it, because you know for sure that deep down in your heart, you really don't want this to go down like this. And you really want to be in control. And when his wife messed around, I think with, I don't know, was that the black guy first or someone else, which he did it without his say-so, he felt a certain type of way. I know we skipped a lot of parts in the video or whatever, but when you go to the video and watch the full context, then you'll get a better understanding. But from that point on, he definitely made sure that he oversaw everything. And I know as a man, I will feel comfortable allowing that to happen, which I know I wouldn't even allow that to happen in my own marriage anyways. But to each their own. Some people want to mask that, well, we're making money, that's where they're doing it. No, you're just a bitch.
He's trying to mask his non-masculinity because, like you just said, he got mad because he couldn't exercise power in the moment. Meaning, she should have asked him, "Can I have another dick tonight?" Meanwhile, that him saying yes or no is him exercising power in his relationship. Meanwhile, he want me to believe that he don't like being challenged by other men, especially black men, intellectually that is. But he don't mind them putting their dick in his woman and challenging him in a sexual escapade. Get the fuck out of here! Like somebody lying, and I'm listening to this conversation. I'm picking up everything else that's going on, and I really do not like it. And even if they was talking about each other's money, right? I can understand that men throwing their money out and stuff like that. It happens. But when we're talking about an idea that comes down to human nature, how the fuck you just gonna throw your money in there? Like that's an insult to my intelligence. Listening to that shit.
That, and also calling him a chocolate milk dog. Well, he said milk dog, but you know what he was insinuating? The shame, the guilt, the insults, because he was bold enough to speak on a morale point of view, and he couldn't really handle that. Let me go ahead and finish our video, and that's when you're gonna see him get up.
You're broke. What does money have to do with being morally superior?
Facts.
It's completely wrong here. The moral superiority that he's juxtaposing to the decisions that Adam 22 has made in his life is bothering Adam. This is his deepest fear and his deepest insecurity. Now that he's out of the digital bubble where he feels protected and he's interacting with somebody who is making him feel the consequences of his actions, there goes the inevitable rage quit. Let's watch.
I'm gonna leave, and if anybody else want to live with me, I'll take you.
Rage quit. It's not a rage quit. It's just you're not on the level of me or any of this guy. Guys. Let's just take a little pause.
I didn't mean to make a rage quit. I'm done. I don't want to listen to this guy anymore, and I feel like I might do something extreme if I were to stick around.
When I first walked in,
I might have to polish that milk dud.
When I saw you downstairs, I said, "Do you want the fade?" And you said no.
Okay.
See what you
When I first walked in, I said, "Do you want the fade?" And you said no. We could have took care of that before the show started.
Do you guys have like some pre-existing beef or something?
Listen, when I came in downstairs, the first thing I said when I saw him, I said, "Do you need that fade?" And he said, "No, it's just content."
Oh, I didn't know you guys had like.
Yeah, as soon as I walked up, I said, "Do you need that fade?" And he said, "No, it's just content."
Oh, but I mean, like, did you guys have like a previous?
Yeah, because I went on No Jumper. He waited until I left the state of California, and then he started talking crazy. And I said, if you had an issue with Marquette Devon Burton, you could have said that to me when I was right there in your studio. But you don't have to wait until I leave.
You do an episode with him? I don't listen.
I was like, you don't have to wait until I leave.
I don't know.
And then he DM'd me on Instagram like, "Hey, bro, we gotta like do a show when you come back." It's like,
wait, are you leaving?
It's super villain.
So him telling him the truth got him ready to punch a nigga in the face, but a black dude putting his wife down don't got him ready to do shit. And he not uncomfortable, and he uncomfortable with it too. No, don't play with my intelligence. Not today.
Yeah, none of the stuff like really adds up. So if anybody that's watching, you're confused, I don't blame you for being confused. It's that Adam made it that way because he's trying to dodge like some form of accountability, but then yet some form of insecurity in my personalized opinion to it, because if you're not in a position of power, and especially for some of them, like, you know, they love the position of power, but you're giving up to, like, you know, the woman that you are maybe in love with or currently infatuated with for the moment, then it's like somebody calling you out on that, on your BS. It can bring an uncomfortable feeling into it. So of course, you know, you and your little bubble is now being popped out. Of course, you're gonna feel some type of way where you want to insinuate a fight that really you're not even gonna really do anyways. So just another guy just trying to be tough. That's all. Since his masculinity has been, well, not even his masculinity, his ego has been bruised just a little bit. Because I don't think Saint the Sinner really went hard on him as he should have, but he was pretty much like professional in the questions that he asked. And unfortunately, Adam 22 couldn't really handle it. And that's my opinion to it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. You know, this is at the end of the day, man. And Lola was kind of hitting on it. That truth struck that nerve. And then it's just like, you know, he couldn't handle it. And that's how you know he truly has a problem with this whole situation. He's just trying to, I think, salvage his masculinity in any way. Mm-hmm. So that's why he's kind of trying to, you know, justify it. So that's when he, you know, typical guy stuff, where sometimes when we all get, you know, we start flexing on each other. Oh man, I make more money than you. But it's just like what MTR pointed out. Certain things just, nobody cares how much money you make out of like certain acts. It just, you know, nobody gives a damn. So when you try to start throwing that out there, it's just, you know, yeah, you're probably getting some bread out of that. But, you know, when you do, like, I'll say that corn work, you know, you isolate yourself from the rest of the society. I don't know if you ever saw those like documentaries with the former, like I say, corn workers. Man, those documentaries are some of the saddest shit that you'll see in your life. You know, they're going through the story. They're like, man, I got kids. I'm trying to go to like the parent teacher meetings. They're like, nobody wants to interact with me. Guys don't really want to interact with me. So it's like their whole life, they were chasing, you know, that type of money.
Yeah.
And when it's like time to stop, you know, it's just like you're in that bubble now. Nobody's messing with you. Cause like I remember, I forgot the lady's name, but she was just like, you'll be surprised. She was like, it's like I said, she'll go to the like parents teacher meetings and she's like, the moms don't want nothing to do with me. Oh, so man. She was just all crying. I forgot her name, man. I wish I could find it, but yeah, it was just like, it painted that picture. Like you could chase that type of money, but when the smoke settles and stuff, that amount that you're going to get from that type of lane, you ain't going to like that.
Yeah. Especially when that really damaged like your reputation. Your reputation, you can't really salvage over. You know, especially like, you know, in a fixed location or a certain type of social group. It's like you blatantly gonna have to like, you know, relocate if you ever gonna try like start over. But then when stuff like that goes viral, like it's over. People watch that, they're not gonna look at you like the same. So unfortunately, people like they set themselves up, man, for failure when you're doing that. And when you have guys like, you know, like Saint in the center, that's pointing out that's like, hey, like, you know, what you're doing, you're working in a brainless type of industry where you don't really contribute any value at all into society. They get upset. I think Sophisticated Jerk, he'll be back. Probably lost his connection. But salutes to like not your average guy. He says money cannot buy class or true happiness, right? Yeah, definitely, for sure. And definitely, he says, happy holidays back to you. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents into it, man. Real quick, we will be closing out like in a minute shortly because in the next, like, I'll say like maybe like 35 minutes, we will be having another live talking about these like Christmas shenanigans featuring Rude the Gypsy. And the homie Sophisticated Jerk on slide through as well too. Everybody's more welcome to you know, come up. But yeah, we're definitely gonna have like another stream soon after. So just want to give you guys the heads up.
But you know what's this? Oh, go ahead, Lola.
Also, I wanted to point out that when I first understood what was going on with these people, I understood them to be reality TV stars, right? So their relationship was their business. And without that being public, they wasn't making any money, okay? And so on and so forth. So when he makes the issue, so to your point, that, or to Mr. Bess's point, that he doesn't really, like most people, don't want to talk about his relationship, I have to call a little cap on that, because all he's doing is talking about his relationship. I seen one clip where he was having a raffle of who was going to have sex with his wife and talking about all the joys of his marriage and wife. And I'm like, you're talking about your relationship. Matter of fact, you're letting us into your relationship. So why is it that when someone asks you a question about your relationship, I think it has everything to do with.
Yeah, you can't put your relationship out on blast and then be mad because people actually join it. So that's what I'm saying. It's like he wants it. It's like they want their like relationship honed in to a certain degree, and it's like, hey, don't ask me about anything else, even though like I'm profiting from putting it out in the open and stuff. So yeah.
Right. That's exact. Can you hear me? Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, we can hear you.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, and it's almost intellectually insulting that someone can't ask you a question, but you upset. You want to put your information out there, but you don't want people to remember. Like, it's like, listen, white privilege is real, but I know y'all don't want it to be about white privilege. But here's the thing: I don't see it being anything else, because a black man can't do that. I tell you that right now. No, not at all.
Yeah, we'll get a little too much smoke for that, you know.
But man, you know what bothers me the most about this whole I'll say situation with them and people that kind of take this lane? They don't give a shit about their kids. Cause can you imagine, like, you got to be in high school, man, and you know, we already talked enough shit like, oh, your mom does this, and, you know, them type of jokes that be coming out. So like when people go down this lane and the kids got to go to high school and shit with everything on video, and oh man, they about to, all that money they about to make off of all these videos, they probably gonna have to spend on therapy for their kids.
Damn, I didn't really think about that. Does Adam 22 have children?
Yeah, they got a kid with each other. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, damn. I didn't
somebody
even know
actually
that.
in the video, like if you, I was watching the whole thing, asked them about that, and they were like, would you want your daughter to do this? And he was like dancing around the question, like, well, of course I would have wanted her to do that, but if she did, you know, we'll support her. So it just, yeah, it's just terrible, man.
Typical political question answer.
What are they supporting? Like what? Like if your daughter come home and let's suppose her pornography has hit 1 million views. As a father, what are you supposed to say?
Yeah, it's not like you're gonna get her a banquet and like a plotter and stuff, you know, a plaque for that type of stuff.
What you supposed to do? Hug her and say, "I'm so proud of you, baby. You took all them penises." Like, what are you supposed to say as a father? This is what I'm saying. We're in the twilight zone on Earth 17.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Everybody wants to. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sophisticated.
Oh no, I was just, yeah, I couldn't even imagine, you know, and that's I like what Lola was saying before when she was, and even Smitty when he was like, what do he say, sexual gluttony, and that's why I try to talk to a lot of people, you know, because a lot of these conversations we do be having online, you know, where a lot of times, you know, people are always saying, oh, you know, they're looking at it from the me aspect, but it's like, man, once you have a kid, man, you can't chase your desires, you know, you gotta, some things you just can't have no more, you know. If you really care about your like legacy, lineage, you know, a lot of people say that, but it's just like a lot of times kids do copy the actions of the parents. So yeah, when they kind of was up there trying to justify it by the money, I'm like, man, you putting money over your own kids' like well-being at the end of the day, because they're gonna have to go to school. Like, kids is brutal out here.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Somebody have a comment right in the IG. This person Smooth says there are some sick ass fantasies men justify with no care or repercussion. So definitely facts like to that. You do have some sick ghosts out there though. Not all, but yeah, a few of them. So And everybody, just want to say, give you guys the link to the next stream that's come up within 35 minutes from now. Again, this is going to be a stream about Christmas shenanigans. Everyone's more welcome to pretty much come through the panel. It's going to be an open discussion, how Christmas is all about consumership. If you have children, make sure that, you know, they listen to this so they can know that Santa does not exist. All right. But other than that, yeah, we're going to definitely wrap it up because I got to get ready to set up the next stream. But it was definitely good, man, having this conversation. I know we went way, like, you know, into the box even deeper beyond Adam 22, but it was definitely nonetheless definitely good to discuss about, for sure. So thank you guys for tuning up. Thank you, Lola, for coming up. Thank you, Wally.
Yeah, thank you, Lola. Always giving them good perspectives.
Exactly.
No problem, y'all.
Hopefully we see you up in like, the next, like, you know, 30 minutes to give your perspective on Christmas.
See, y'all don't want my perspective because I'm gonna throw a wrench and see, then y'all gonna be hollering at me.
So you about to go in on Santa? Santa don't get a break either.
No, it's worse than that, jerk.
Oh, she I think on that Lola's on that consumership side, right? You know, because it benefits her. She's giving those holiday gifts and those Christmas cookies. You know what I mean? So
is Wally still around? Wally, I wanted to ask his take on this whole Adam 22 situation. So, do you think you could ever let your the lady you love do some stuff like this?
Sure, if I'm single.
Oh my god. No,
yeah, that's the only way
no,
I'm gonna let that happen. If I'm single, sure. Oh yeah, have fun. Well, I'm gonna have fun too.
You see, he talking about he gonna play get back because now he mad. You see what I'm saying?
No, but look, I'm single though. So what's the freaking point? Like, hey, you can do what you want. I'm gonna do what I want. I'm single.
Oh, so
But
she even asked that means that you single.
After she gets your last name, Wally, she come up to you and is like, "Hey, I think we should open things up." How would you handle that, Wally?
And I would told her, yeah, let's open things up. Look, here you go. Sign this off real quick. Thank you. What was that for? Oh yeah, that's our divorce papers. Okay, yeah, have fun.
But Bobby, you had her in a three-way prior too, so you can't sit.
Nah. I don't know nothing about that. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, that ain't me.
Oh, you don't know what they're talking about? Oh, okay.
No, exactly, because that wasn't me. That wasn't me.
Oh.
Sorry.
He said he hit her with a shaggy.
Right.
Exactly. Shaggy.
No, but yeah, I definitely want you guys to come up on the next one, man. You guys gonna definitely be good.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely pull up. Now, this was a great conversation because, yeah, I think a lot of times, man, people just trying to justify bullshit, man, and I do think we got to start calling it out because I was thinking about some of the stuff Lola be saying. Yeah, I was like, you know what, there is some tolerance in other groups, boy, that I could have dealt with because time a female come up and asking me about that, I'm pulling one of Wally's numbers, like, hey, indulge yourself, you move on, but yeah, I'm good. You know, you got to step away from that.
You see, y'all black men, y'all need to stop being so black and go to the white side of things. I'm telling you, he living the life, ain't he?
No.
Nah, I couldn't do it, man. I think it's gonna burn you down the line. I think that's what's wrong with a lot of you see the incidents that's going on. I always be telling dudes like, man, you can't chase your desire. Like it's gonna fizzle out. You see Diddy and all them. It's just like, man, when you play to that side too much, something's gonna come down and happen. You know.
And besides, I mean, honestly, I look at that. Like, and when you get in part of that industry, you already like sell me the person that you already a broken person. Because every single time you listen to these corn stars, they always tell you a very jacked up story of how they got there. And it's amazing based upon your jacked up story that leads you to go to that industry. Like, no, I'm good on that.
Yeah, no, yeah, that.
Okay, guys, man. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We're going to be signing out and see you guys in 30 minutes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Lola, hopefully I can see you cammed up. I love your little dress. So, and she escaped. All right. Cool. Wally, thank you for tuning in, man. We'll see you in 30 minutes as well, too.
I'll be there.
All right, for sure. All right, everybody. Thank you, man, for tuning in to Reckless Reviews with M3 and the Sophisticated Jerk. stay tuned for like more stuff like later on. I know like the holidays is approaching though, so we're gonna take at least a break for this Saturday, but the following Saturday we're definitely going to be coming back with more heat and more reviews. All right, and thank you, Sophisticated Drake, as always, man, for blessing us with your perspectives.
Oh, no problem, man. I love doing these breakdowns, man, because even though we're reviewing entertainment from other people, man, I think there's messages in that we do need to address, together and stuff. Because like in this debate, man, it was like morality versus money and losing your manhood and stuff. So, like I said, love chopping it up with you guys.
Yeah, definitely, for sure, man. Same thing. Well, all right, everybody, thank you for tuning in. See you guys in 30 minutes on the knowledge relationship side, and peace.
Peace.
All right.